Hi, my name is Molly Wolfe. Today, I will be discussing cardiovascular screening and how it is a very complicated topic that needs to be looked at from both sides for a thorough argument. My main article that I used is by Harvard Health called "Be Wary of Commercial Cardiovascular Services." Um, They do not mention a specific author. However, essentially, their claim is what is mentioned in the title. They want it to be clear that despite early testing being a positive in most ways, there is the side effect of potential wrongs. Um, to show this, they use several rhetorical devices such as logos, ethos, and evidence. The logos being that they use statistics and other more like number based arguments, such as when they state that older male smokers face the highest risk, which is why men ages 65 to 75 who have ever smoked should undergo a one time ultrasound test. So that just shows that they use numbers and statistics, which I suppose are the same thing, in order to prove the credibility in the way that they have done research and to help the readers understand what they say more easily, since everyone understands what numbers mean. It also will allow readers to know exactly what they mean. So instead of using more complicated words, when you say, oh, this age group specifically is what needs testing, it helps readers understand that more. They use ethos because they interview several doctors and mention important groups who have proved that this is why, like, it is important, such as the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, um, including sourcing the article where they have pulled stuff from, or they got a interview from Dr. J. Michael Gaziano, who works at Brigham and Women's Hospital, where he states screening is all about the context. They use audience because they make sure that the piece is written in a way that the wider public can understand. While a lot of articles, especially for medical databases or medical purposes, I have noticed typically use a lot more um, medically inclined terms. So a lot of the wider public would not understand what they are speaking of. While in this article, they do use terms that everyone in the world would understand. It is very easy to understand, and they make sure that the wider public would understand it, while they would not a lot of other sources. However, there are some critiques from this. Um, its whole purpose is to show that home screening tests aren't always viable and that you should not always use them. However, the problem is that hospital tests are incredibly expensive and they're also at times really hard to get for the wider public. Not everyone has the ability to go into a hospital and get those tests that are typically more accurate. However, and they also mention the way uh, negative results are um, sometimes false, or positive results are sometimes false. However, that can happen with any type of testing, including in hospitals. It is not only something that a at-home screening will result in. I also used a article from Central Georgia Heart called "Why You Need Heart Health Screenings," which basically it just shows what exactly a screening can show and the type of diseases that it can help you with, like understand that you have. With it uses it like shows a list and the major like types that everyone should start screening. Um, it states how with age it's more likely that you need screenings, and that with family history, you need more screenings. And they go into what type of screenings exactly you need, such as blood pressure, BMI, smoking, and like the risk factors that occur from with heart health. My uh, my final source I used was Women Need Baseline Cardiac Screening, which was very helpful because it shows the way that a lot more people will use female heart screening. A lot more females will need heart screening based on their gender. And they correlate that with the expert opinions of a lot of doctors, which was very helpful to fully understand what they were going into. So here's my visual aid. I apologize if it's not the clearest image, but it's what we're working with. So with my visual aid, I just sort of wanted to show what a clogged artery looks like, since not a lot of people fully know like what's the process of it being clogged, if that makes sense. So basically, it just sort of like builds up over time until the point of it just not being able to get any more blood here through the artery, which is through the heart, which is seen right here. Um, so it just means that you are no longer pumping blood, which will eventually cause a cardiac arrest, whether it be fatal or not. Yeah, thank you. So, with that part of the presentation over, I just wanted to know if the visual aid actually helped you understand my presentation at all. I understand if it didn't, but I felt like it would be useful to just sort of understand what exactly was happening with your heart that was causing a heart attack to occur. So, hopefully, these sources help show why early screening can help with congenital heart failure, and hopefully over time will gradually decrease the number of those killed by it. Thank you.